Charlie Mattingly with Leading Edge Financial Planning. Today, I'm going to talk to you about loss of license insurance at Southwest Airlines. Open enrollment starts October 25th, goes through November 7th of 2023. So I'm recording this message for this year's open enrollment. And one of the decisions you have, in fact, one of the only decisions you have with loss of license insurance is do you prefer the taxable benefit or the tax-free benefit? Now, loss of license insurance is the one that Southwest Airlines pays for all Southwest pilots if you're off, once you're off of probation. And so it's not the voluntary loss of license through Peterson that we've had access to before. This is the basic one that everyone gets. So during open enrollment, you get to choose. Do you want the tax-free benefit or the taxable benefit? I'll just tell you before I jump in the executive summary. If it were up to me, and it was when I was flying at Southwest, I chose the tax-free benefit. That may not be right for everyone, and that's why we're going to go through this video. But in my opinion, disability is one of the biggest risks we have to think about as airline pilots. It's very likely that at some point in your career, you're going to have some kind of disability where you're going to be out. And I think the majority of pilots do have those situations, and they're not all for a very long time, but nonetheless, that possibility is there, especially for airline pilots. So in my opinion, because of the risk in the nature of the airline industry as a pilot, I always try to get more disability insurance if at all possible. Okay, so let's talk about the two things that can help you make this decision. How much extra do I get if I select the tax-free benefit? So let's take a look at that real quick to see if I can show you an example. Now, this is the difficult part here. It's going to vary a little bit depending on your tax situation. And so here is a little excerpt from the SWAPA disability calculator, and it's excellent to go check it out and see what you can find there and run your particular scenario, put in your particular sick time, your seniority, short-term disability A or B, and it kind of spits these results. Now, one thing it doesn't do so well, it doesn't know your tax situation. So it doesn't really calculate this difference very accurately. This is the difference. You can see loss of license kicks in on the 7th month, and here is the tax-free benefit. Here is the benefit once it's taxed. So gross versus net, we'll just call it that. And so this difference, as you can see, is about $2,400, if my math is close there. That may or may not be the case for you. Here are the things you need to think about. If you have outside income from Southwest Airlines, such as a military pension, that's going to be taxable income. And you're going to add that taxable income to your loss of license gross income to determine your marginal tax bracket. And that's how you come to that difference. For example, if I'm in the 32% marginal tax bracket, which is unlikely on disability, but let's say that I am, then I take 32% of that $9,482 number, and that's about what I should use to think about the difference there between the tax-free and taxable benefit. That's not going to be a 100% accurate number. There's a lot of other things that go into taxes there. And again, think about the outside income you have once you're on disability. Does your spouse work? Do you have a military pension? All those will go into consideration to determine your tax situation. If this is the only income you have and you're on disability, then you can pretty much say, hey, I make about $9,500 a month gross. Therefore, my tax bracket, marginal tax bracket is probably 22%. That's how I might calculate that difference there. The point here is that's probably going to be $1,500 to $2,500 of difference a month between the gross and the net loss of license benefit. So think about that. And again, if you want a number to hang your hat on, let's pretend it's $2,000. So do I want to pay a little extra every month in my paycheck for $2,000 extra in disability benefit? That's the way I frame it. Again, I kind of like to do everything I can to get a little extra disability payment, considering I'm an airline pilot, or for me, was an airline pilot. But let's take a look then. So there's the benefit. Now let's take a look at the cost, and let's see if I can pull that up real quick as far as how much extra might I pay if I do select the tax-free loss of license. This is straight off of SWAPA's website, and what I want you to see here is how much is it going to cost you per month? Again, we're going to have to estimate a little bit depending on your tax bracket, but there's a good example. This again is right off the SWAPA website, and it's from the contract. So it's a great example that they've written out here for us. All right, basically, loss of license costs the company $2.20 per $100 of income. Or that's at least, I should say, the imputed income that's going to show up on your pay stub. If you select tax-free loss of license, you will see on your pay stub, and if you don't know if you have it right now, look to your pay stub in the bottom left. If you see under the imputed income section, you'll see swag points, maybe a couple other things, but if you see imputed income, tax-free loss of license, that means if you get the loss of license benefit, it will be tax-free, and you are paying tax on the premium that Southwest pays. You're not paying the premium, you're paying the tax on it. So in this case, they give an example here. If you're making $15,000 a month, then you would have $330 of imputed income. Okay. So what that means is Southwest Airlines is paying $330 and you're paying the tax on it. Now, let's say you're in the 24% marginal tax bracket. So I just take $330, multiply that by 24%. I get $79.20. That's what I'll be paying extra each month for the ability to get a tax-free loss of license benefit. In my opinion, it's worth it. Just my opinion. If you're in the 32% tax bracket, you can do the math as well as I can. And again, if you're making $15,000 a month, you're probably not in the 32% tax bracket unless you have other outside income. But you would take 32%, multiply that by the imputed income, and that's $105.60. Now let's see what the maximum amount someone might pay is, because SWAPA says the maximum imputed income is $5,060. This is as of 2021. It still applies, but it could change in the future. So if I'm in the 32% tax bracket, that's a 3 there. Sorry about that. Then I multiply that by 5,060. So 32% times 5,060 is 1,600. I'm just going to round it to $20 per year. Or I'm paying about $135 per month in taxes extra on the premium that Southwest pays. So I hope that's helpful. An example of $15,000 a month, and then another example of maybe a maximum that you might pay per month to get the tax-free loss of license benefit. I hope that's helped somewhat. I know it's a lot of moving parts there, a lot of assumptions, by the way. So be careful. Hopefully I've given you some ranges to think about and enough information so that you can make the decision that's best for you. Please reach out to us if you have any other questions or anything else you'd like us to address on loss of license or any other Southwest benefits. I'll be doing a couple more videos and other topics as well for this open enrollment. My email address is charlie@leadingedgeplanning.com. You can visit our website at leadingedgeplanning.com as well. And we're not associated with SWAPA or Southwest Airlines. These are opinions are our own, just from our experience and what we've learned from actually being disabled for a little while myself and learning from other pilots as well. So I hope you're doing well this fall open enrollment season, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Leading Edge Financial Planning, LLC is a registered investment advisor. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Leading Edge Financial Planning and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. For additional information, please visit our website at www.leadingedgeplanning.com. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, and it should not be relied on as such. It should not be considered a solicitation to buy or an offer to sell a security. It does not take into account any investor's particular investment objectives, strategies, tax status, or investment horizon. You should consult your attorney or tax advisor. The views expressed in this commentary are subject to change based on market and other conditions. These documents may contain certain statements that may be deemed forward-looking statements. Please note that any such statements are not guarantees of any future performance, and actual results or developments may differ materially from those projected. Any projections, market outlooks, or estimates are based upon certain assumptions and should not be construed as indicative of actual events that will occur. All information has been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but its accuracy is not guaranteed. There is no representation or warranty as to the current accuracy, reliability, or completeness of, nor liability for, decisions based on such information, and it should not be relied on as such.